Hello, my name's Turner and welcome back to the SCADA Lab YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to be learning how to first connect to this Allen Bradley L55 PLC, and then second, make it connect to this Allen Bradley 1734 point.io system. So we're going to get started with that right now.
Alright, so the first thing we want to do is make sure our devices are on the network. So I found the IP address for this L55 by simply just looking at the network card on it, and I will show a picture or a video of it displaying the IP address. So that's how I found the IP address for the L55, and for the point.io, there is a way you can, like the manual will tell you how to find the IP address, but the easiest way I found is to just plug in the Ethernet directly into the point.io and then plugging that Ethernet cord back into your computer and just using Wireshark to find the IP address. So after you have got both of them on here, first you want to make sure you can ping both of them. So I'm going to ping 192.168.201.7, and that is my L55, so I'm getting replies from that. And then I'm going to ping my point.io as well. That's 202.90. And again, I found this using Wireshark. So Wireshark, I think I still have it open right here. So this is Wireshark, and I found the IP address right here. And it's pretty easy to do. I find it's the simplest way. So then, once we have that created, we're going to want to make a driver, an Ethernet driver in RS links. And I've already done that here. All you got to do is go to Communications, Configure Drivers. You're going to want to make it an Ethernet IP driver. And then you just click Add New, type in the IP addresses, and they should pop up right here. So for the next step, we're going to have to use RS-Logix 5000 to connect to the L55. So the trick with this is the L55 is an older processor, so we're going to want to use version, let's see if I can pull up it's version 16, I believe. You'd think there'd be an about page. Generate report, maybe? But it's version 16, so I have another RS Logix 5000, and it is not compatible. Oh no. There we go. So I have this RS Logix 500. This is the newer version, and we're going to have to get version 16 of the RS Logix 5000 to get it to work right. So what we're going to want to do is go to Communications, Who Active, and then we're going to use our Ethernet driver that we just made in RS Links, and we're going to click it, drop it down again, and then click Download. And then another thing, when you're setting up your controller type on the L55 or on RS Logix 5000, the L55 is not listed. So you can click whatever controller you want, and it won't matter until you press download, and this will pop up. Failed to go online with controller. The actual processor type does not match the processor type for this project, and that's because it's not listed. But luckily, it says L55 right here. All we got to do is change type, click yes, and then, oh, I have the key switch in run position, so I have to go over and swap that to remote or program mode. So let me go do that. So I went and I swapped the switch from run mode back to program mode, and we are going to try this again. We're going to go to Who Active, come over here to our L55, click download. I have this little fake program here. I just made 2 bits, just did a Command W, made 2 little bits to download it into this thing. We're going to click download, download, boom, and we are connected to this PLC. So now, we can go offline now. What we're going to do is create our backplane. So right now we just have our backplane, but we're going to want to do add new module, and we're going to start adding all of our cards. So I'll swap right now to a video showing where all the module numbers are on the cards and how to find them. Alright, so we have all of our cards pulled out, and we're looking at all these different numbers. So we got the 1756 L55A, the CNBD, the DNBA, and last but not least, we have the ENBT. So now that we know all of our module numbers, we're going to come in and start adding them. So we're going to go new module, right click, new module, and our first one is L55A. So we're going to scroll down and we're going to find L55. So major revision, should be good. And we're going to name this this one is our power. So then we're going to add our second one, and this is our control net, and this one is CNB/D. So that's right there. Leave that major revision, and we're going to call it control net. Okay, on to our third one, which is our device net, and this one is DNBA, new module. DMB, so we're just going to find DMB. This one should be good. And device net. And okay. And our last one, and this is the important one, this is where our Ethernet comes into. It is called our Ethernet IP. This is what's going to connect to our .io. And this one is this one is ENBT. So ENBT right here. ENBT. Alright, so we're going to click this, call it our Ethernet. Alright, so now the next step is just connecting this to our .io. So we just, you can see this little Ethernet drop down that just came up. I'm going to right click that, click new module, and we're going to come in here and find our 1734 AENTA. So this is our number we have from our .io system. So we're going to click OK, and then we're going to name it .io, and then this is where we're going to use our Ethernet address, or our IP address, excuse me, and we found that at the beginning of this video, so it's 192.168.202.90. 192.168.202.90, and this will connect us to our .io, and you can see that same image that appears on our RS links pops up. So now we, just like how we filled out the back plane of our L55, we're going to do the same for our .io. So on my .io, I'll show you how to do that as well. I will go take a video of that and show you the different cards and how we fill out the back plane for this. So this is our .io right here, and we're going to have to build, we're going to say the chassis size is 5 because this is number 1, our power supply. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have these different cards. We have a relay output, 4 to 20 milliamp analog input, voltage output, analog output. So these numbers right here are what we're looking for, and this is what we're going to type in to our RS Logics, and that's how it's gonna connect to RS Logics, and we'll have all the different inputs and outputs for all these different cards. Alright, so now that we've identified our cards that we have on our .io, we're going to have to add those in right here. So as you can see, we can't add a new module. And if we go into properties, we can see our chassis size is only 1. So we're going to have to change that to 5. Click apply, and then click this chassis size, maybe not. And now we can add a new module. So our first card is a relay output, and its code is OW4. We're going to come right here and find OW4, add that in, and we're going to name that our relay output. So that's our first card, and then we're going to come here, add our second card, and it is IE2C. We're going to find that IE2C right here. We're going to name this one our analog input, analog input. Then moving on to our third card, OE2V. OE2V right here. We're going to name this one analog voltage output. And then our last one is going to be OE2C. OE2C right here. We're going to name this current analog output. And that should be it. So to make sure it works, we're just going to download this program in. And we have a bunch of these yellow lights showing. So we're going to see what's going on with that. I'll get back to you. Alright, so we're back, and as you can see, the yellows are all gone. So what happened was, this first thing that's added, this L55, was it's the processor for the whole PLC, and if you can remember, I added a card after it, and I basically had a redundant card. I named it power, and that was wrong. So when setting these up, you got to make sure that every one of your cards is right, your chassis size is right, and you don't have any duplicate cards, because as you can see, it lit everything up yellow. So it's something you really got to watch out for, and making sure you have the right right type of card. Like if I were to swap these around and say this OW4 was in slot 2, that same thing would happen. The yellows would come up. So what I'm going to do now is hop over to the .io trainer and show you in controller tags. We're going to change a bit here. We're just going to use this OW4 relay output because it's real easy. We're going to go to, it would be this one, .io 10, which is output. We're just going to change this 0 to a 1, and you can see that the output status is now true on the card. And you can also see how all these controller tags populated when we added all these .io cards. But yeah, we're all connected. We just got to make sure we flip that switch into run mode directly on the PLC. Otherwise, none of these changes will take effect. But that is how you connect an L55 PLC to a .io system. Thanks for watching.